As the sun began to peek over the green hills of Maple Meadow Farm, a soft golden light spread across the fields. Tiny droplets of morning dew shimmered on every leaf, making the whole world look like it was sprinkled with diamonds. Tucked away in a quiet corner of the old, warm barn lived a very special little spider. Her name was Willow. Now, Willow wasn't just any ordinary spider. She was a true artist. Instead of spinning simple, everyday webs, Willow wove magnificent creations. She spun webs that looked like twinkling stars, swirling galaxies, and intricate spirals. The other farm animals would often pause their busy days just to gaze up at her beautiful designs. The cows would moo in admiration, and the chickens would cluck with delight. But even with all the praise, Willow felt a little tug in her heart. She dreamed of doing something more, something bigger, something that would truly make a difference. She wanted her art to have a purpose beyond just being pretty. One bright afternoon, a small, dusty truck rumbled up the farm's long driveway. When the back ramp lowered, out wobbled a tiny goat. He was the runt of his litter, much smaller than the others, and his name was Pip. From the moment he set his little hooves on the grass, Pip felt nervous and completely out of place. The other, bigger goats would race each other across the meadow, leaving him far behind. They would leap over fences with ease while he struggled to even get a running start. Whenever it was time for a snack, they would crowd around the trough, and poor Pip never got a turn. He felt invisible, and his heart ached with loneliness. High above in the rafters of the barn, from the safety of her web, Willow watched everything. She saw Pip sitting by himself, his head hung low. She heard his soft, lonely sighs that were nearly lost in the gentle breeze. Watching him, she remembered a feeling she sometimes had herself, the feeling of being small in a very big world. She whispered quietly to the air, "Everyone belongs somewhere. Everyone deserves to feel special." As she said those words, a wonderful, brilliant idea began to spark in her tiny heart. It was a plan that combined her art with her desire to help. That night, while the rest of the farm was sound asleep, Willow got to work. She climbed to the very top of the big barn door, the perfect stage for her new masterpiece. With every ounce of her skill and care, she began to spin. All through the night, she wove a web more beautiful than any she had ever made before. It shimmered in the moonlight like spun silver, and right in the very center, she carefully spun a pattern that curled into two gentle, powerful words, "You're special." It was a message meant for one very special little goat. The next morning, as the farm began to wake up, Pip wandered out of the barn, feeling as lonely as ever. But then something made him look up. His eyes widened. There, glowing in the soft morning sun, was the most incredible web he had ever seen. He stared in absolute awe at the delicate threads sparkling just for him. He read the words woven into the center, "For me." He whispered to himself, a small hopeful smile appearing on his face, and for the very first time since he'd arrived at the farm, his little tail gave a happy, excited wag. It wasn't long before the other animals started to gather around. The chickens stopped pecking, the sheep paused their grazing, and even the proud rooster came over to see what all the fuss was about. They all looked up at the barn door and read the beautiful message in the silk. As they looked from the web to Pip, something shifted. They saw the small, shy goat in a completely new light. That day, when they ran their races, they made sure Pip was included. When they played games of hide and seek, they chose him to be on their team. And when it was snack time, they made a special space for him at the trough. Perched on her wooden beam, hidden in the shadows, Willow watched it all unfold. She saw Pip laughing, really laughing, as he chased a butterfly with the other young goats. Her heart felt so full it could have burst. She realized she didn't need fame or grand recognition. The simple, pure joy of helping someone else find their shine was the greatest reward she could ever imagine. That was the purpose she had been looking for. As night began to settle over Maple Meadow Farm once more, wrapping it in a blanket of stars, Willow spun one last tiny web. It was a simple silver thread that caught the moonlight, a soft reminder to the world and to herself, a reminder that even the smallest act of kindness can change everything. And so, from that day on, the quiet, artistic little spider and the once lonely little goat became the best of friends. A little spider S-web had made a very big difference in one small goat S life, proving that no matter how small you are, you have the power to make the world a better, kinder place. Thanks for watching our story today. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe for more gentle tales from the farm. See you next time.